So you have a whole network of different stories, and I'd love to hear how you approached learning about these stories. Was it just done by interviewing the leading contenders, or how did you go about this task?
I mean, of course, I had to do a lot of research, and my background wasn't in biology, so I really had to learn a lot as I was going along. And I read a lot of people's who I was focusing on their scientific papers and things like that. But of course, very intentionally, the human side of the story was melded with that because I thought that's what made it interesting, is how these scientists went about making the discoveries they did. But from my mind, making those stories viable meant that when I may have written at a level that you wouldn't see in a scientific journal, but the scientists who did that work still had to respect what I was saying and says, okay, that's a simplification, but it's still accurate.
Yeah.
So I made very, very sure and was very careful that I worked with the scientists and had them read what I was writing so that they could correct mistakes that I made or misunderstandings and look at it and say, yeah, that's good. Or just the opposite, say, I think you misunderstood this, and then I'd go back and rework it. And I think that's I don't think that was dishonest. I think that was really the way that you have to approach the stuff, because the last thing you want to do is embarrass a scientist and say, man, this person is writing this PR piece, but they fundamentally misunderstood what we're doing.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think for both the public and the delegates and people like that, one needed to write a story that was true to the science, but at the same time made it interesting.